Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Bark. I'm Savannah Betcher.
And I'm Zach Coral.
Zach and I have a great show in store for you today. We sat down with Campbell Donovan and highlighted Butler's top 3 #GrittyNotPretty moments of the season.
And coming up later in the show, we will highlight the upcoming women's lacrosse and softball teams and see what it is they're doing to get ready for their respective seasons.
But first, we have some basketball to cover. The men's basketball team had a big week hosting Xavier and then traveling to Villanova to face the #1 team. Reporter Jackson Borman has the highlights.
In Butler's first game of the week against number 5 ranked Xavier, senior and Indianapolis native Trayvon Blewett had it going early from three-point range, especially in transition. With Blewett leading the charge, Xavier continued on to a 15-0 run. Blewett, a strong candidate for Big East Player of the Year, led the Musketeers on an early 15-0 run that was answered by Kamar Baldwin's buzzer beater at the end of the shot clock. Then, Butler makes its comeback with Sean McDermott hitting this corner 3 to cap it off and take the lead. Xavier wasn't going to go down quietly, which led Blewett and Butler senior Keelan Martin to trade buckets for the rest of the game. Martin would go on to lead all scorers with 34 points on 6 made three-pointers. With just seconds remaining in regulation, Butler's Kamar Baldwin knocked down this long ball to send the game to overtime, but was answered in the overtime period by Trayvon Blewett once again. Blewett led Xavier with 26 points on 6 of his own threes, leading Xavier to the win, 98-93. In their next game, Butler played on the road against #1 in the nation Villanova and got out to a hot start from beyond the arc, knocking down threes from Kamar Baldwin and Keelan Martin early. Martin continued his impressive scoring numbers from the Xavier game and would go on to score 30 points on 8 made long balls, including this deep transition 3 that would go on to put Butler ahead by double digits. But Villanova rallied in the second half, where stars Jalen Brunson and Dante DiVincenzo came alive to finish with 27 and 30 points respectively. Villanova's run was sealed off by the steal and dunk by Mikal Bridges, which ensured the 11-point win for the Wildcats.
Not to be lost in the men's team's rough week was the Butler women's basketball team, who dropped 2 Big East Conference games right here in Hinkle Fieldhouse this past weekend. Jacob Mummert has the latest.
The women's basketball team lost both games at Hinkle over the weekend, losing to DePaul on Friday and Marquette on Sunday. The Dogs were off to a good pace in the first half of the DePaul game, never trailing, and ended the half tied at 34 with the #1 team in the Big East. Whitney Jennings scored 14 points in the first quarter, going 4 for 5 from deep. Junior forward Tori Schickel controlled the paint in the first half, limiting the Blue Demons to just 38% shooting from the field. The Blue Demons answered in the second half, putting up 29 on the Dogs in the third quarter. The Dogs fought back but couldn't come out with a win, losing 86-68. Only 2 Bulldogs finished the game with double figures in scoring. Redshirt junior guard Whitney Jennings led the Dogs with 23, with sophomore guard Kristen Spolier not too far behind at 16. Sophomore forward Shantae Stonewall led the Blue Demons in scoring with 16, while all 5 starters for DePaul ended the night in double figures. Sophomore guard-forward combo Shea Bry led the Dogs defensively with 3 steals. The next game didn't get any easier. The Dogs faced Marquette on Sunday. The women's basketball team was celebrating its 3 seniors that game, but still couldn't pull out the win. The Dogs started the game well, outscoring the Golden Eagles 10-4. However, the Golden Eagles fired back with a 7-0 run. Marquette continued to push and limited the Dogs to just 8 points in the second quarter. The Golden Eagles took the lead at the half and never looked back. The final score was 78-59 in Marquette's favor. The Dogs will hit the road to finish out their season, facing Providence, Creighton, and Xavier before playing in the Big East tournament.
Walk-ons have always been a favorite here at Butler. Last year, Dog Pound's favorite Stephen Bennett graduated, but it took no time for Butler fans to find his replacement, Campbell Donovan. Our reporter, Olivia Frajop, sat down with Campbell to learn more about the walk-on who is stealing the hearts of many.
I saw Henry going baseline, and when someone goes baseline, someone automatically is supposed to go to the corner. So I was in the spot to go to the corner, and then he went up for a layup, and I was like, oh, he's just going to make the layup. But then he kind of bobbled it and tipped it out to me, and I'm like, oh gosh, here we go.
Campbell Donovan is a freshman walk-on scoring his first basket on February 3rd against DePaul. According to ESPN, Donovan averages 2.3 minutes per game and 0.6 points per game, but he plays a bigger role than just statistics.
It's the next step to this thing for DePaul.
Henry badly drives it to the basket, knocked away. Campbell Donovan.
There you go.
The walk-on, the freshman with his first basket of the season. Everybody loves when the walk-on gets a hoop.
They were really excited. Like, I couldn't really see him at the time. I know someone slapped me on the butt because I did it I made it right in front of them. But then Jimmy sent me some pictures after, and they were all going crazy. So that was the best part about it. My teammates being happy. So being in the locker room with those guys, the first few weeks, when I was here in the summer, I was really nervous. Just kind of being the walk-on, I didn't really know how I be treated. If people would kind of accept me as a real teammate, or just kind of it's just kind of there. But all the guys treat me just like one of them. I mean, just coming to practice, even if I don't want to practice, Henry or Keelan or someone will make me laugh, and it would just make my day. So honestly, just being a part of it, just being in the locker room before and after practice, and then obviously knowing that kind of behind the scenes, I help this team, although I'm not always on the court in front of all the people, but my teammates and my coaches know that I contribute in other ways that people can only see, so that's good. I think it's a great starting point for me because I can really only go up from here. I'm kind of at the rock bottom of the team. I'll admit it, but honestly, that's kind of good for me because it motivates me, and I feel like I can only go up. So.
Do you have any good bench celebrations you could show us?
Yeah. My favorite one is before the game, me and Joey. We get a little Missy High, hit me low. So we're just getting ready before the game, and we just go a little Missy High, hit me low. During the game, I like to do the arrow. So if someone hits a three, and you do the little three thing, and then you grab one out, and you get on your knee, and you shoot the guy that just beat it.
Do you ever watch videos of celebrations to get some ideas? Wichita State, maybe you can beat them in celebrations?
I got some work to do. I think that's more of a March Madness thing. I don't want to overdo it and then have just all these expectations. What's he gonna do? I don't want that. But I want to just wow people someday. When we're in the Sweet 16 this year, I'm just gonna wow.
Butler basketball has produced some memorable moments this season, and it's been highlighted by the hashtag Gritty Not Pretty, which has turned into the team's motto this season. Savannah took to the court to highlight the 3 grittiest moments this season. Show us what you got, Savannah.
Thanks, Zach. I'm inside of Hinkle Fieldhouse, where Butler's men's basketball team has had many great victories throughout this season. Their season has also been characterized by the hashtag Gritty Not Pretty. While Butler basketball has seen many great victories, they've also come to those victories through hard-fought plays that I'm about to walk you through. Here's my top 3 hashtag Gritty Not Pretty moments of the season.
They know how to dance.
Bridges trying to answer off the back of the iron. Jorgensen with the rebound.
It was right here that Paul Jorgensen caught that rebound and began to make his way up the court. He went 8 for 13 from the field and 4 for 7 from the three-point line. As he began to cross half court, he took 2 wide steps, pulled up.
On those threes, oh my goodness.
Wow, he is fielded.
He made it, and the crowd went wild. It was right here against Ohio State that Keelan Martin caught the ball in overtime. He fought off the defender here.
1 timeout remaining, but they're not going to use it.
The score was 65-66. He had 2 defenders in hot pursuit of him. It was here that he pulled up.
Keelan Martin, strong to the hole for the lead.
Shot the layup and scored. The Bulldogs ended up winning the game 67-66. Bulldogs were on the road against Georgetown. They were seconds away from losing a game on the road after a hard-fought comeback. In the final seconds, a ball went up.
Baldwin, the 3!
Sean McDermott got the ball.
Not gonna go, the tip in for McDermott! They'll count it, and we're going to overtime!
The game was headed to overtime, 75-75. The Bulldogs had a chance. Joining me outside of Hinkle now is the Bark reporter, Jacob Markeski. Jacob, can you tell me what was your top #GrittyNotPretty moment of the season?
I think all three were iconic moments of the season so far, but I would have to go with Keelan Martin against Ohio State in November. Coming back from 15 down with less than 4 minutes to go, that was ridiculous. And then Keelan taking it in overtime and doing what he does and putting the team on his back and getting the win, that just put the icing on the cake for that game. Sean's moment was great. Paul Jorgensen's 3 from the parking lot was absolutely insane, and I think it was all 3 are great moments, but I think Keelan has to take the top spot on this one.
Awesome, Jacob. Thank you for providing that insight. And Zach, back to you.
It might still be winter, but that's not stopping spring sports from getting underway. This weekend, the Butler women's lacrosse team starts their second ever season as they travel to the University of Michigan. I stopped by their blue-white scrimmage this past weekend to see what it is they're doing to improve upon their 1-16 inaugural season.
It's time to grab the sticks. The Butler University women's lacrosse season will get underway this weekend as the team begins just its second ever season at Butler. The Bulldogs come off an inaugural season that saw just one win, a 16-13 victory against Gardner-Webb. Overall, the team ended last season 1-16. The Big East Conference preseason polls announced in January were not nice to the Bulldogs. Butler rounded out the poll in 10th, and no players received preseason accolades. Based off the polls, many teams are going to discredit the Bulldogs this season. As most Butler fans, athletes, and coaches will tell you, they're used to being the underdogs. Some even prefer it. Sophomore midfielder Mary Davide says that with the low expectations, confidence is key for the team this season.
Yeah, we're young and people see us as like the underdog, but that's a good thing too, because especially this year, I feel like teams are going to like underestimate us, but they're not ready for us.
On the field, Butler will have 3 juniors leading the team as they try to improve on their first season. Adeline Smith, Haley Hallenbeck, and Jordan Fischbach were named captains for the upcoming season. Hallenbeck is the team's leading scorer. She had 26 goals last season. The plan this season is to take it game by game. The team decided in the fall that a season-long goal is not in the team's best interest. Davide says that because things change all the time, short-term goals are what will help this team thrive.
We talked a lot in like fall ball of like how we're gonna have like individual goals for like each game. So like maybe like each game's gonna be different. So maybe for like say we play Michigan on Friday, that maybe to like hold them to certain goals or score so many like during like each half and stuff.
The Bulldogs will open their season this Friday as they travel to Ann Arbor to take on University of Michigan. The team's home opener is February 22nd against Louisville, and Big East Conference play will start March 18th when Butler hosts University of Connecticut. Reporting for the Bark, I'm Zach Correll.
That's all we have today. I'm Zach Correll.
And I'm Savannah Betcher. Don't forget to tune in next week where we sit down with Butler softball star Jenna Foreman and check in on the Butler swim team.
Thanks for watching.